All right, we're good.
All right. We are live on tonight's call. We have a super special guest. I'm very excited. But before we get there, I just want to make a couple announcements. So I can't believe it's already May. I just checking out the calendar and everything. It's like, what, 11 weeks till Summit? It's crazy. So I'm super excited. Okay, so we have this Saturday, right? This Saturday is it the playbook? Is that what it's called? Playbook training. That looks awesome. I did see Dave post that there might be still tickets. So if anybody wants to still go to that, I'd definitely go.
And that's in Philly.
It's in Philly. This is the first training I'm going to miss. I'm super pumped. I'm super bummed out, but my niece's communion, I guess, takes priority, unfortunately. So, okay. And then the New Jersey Market Council just announced today as well that there's a training on the 11th from 7 to 9 p.m. with one of the trainers, which looks good.
It's Greg Coyer. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but he's like one of the corporate people for Beachbody.
Yeah, I think he's a Southeast.
Not workout oriented.
Right. May 10th is registration for Summit, so that's coming up. Rose did a call on that on Sunday, so if you guys missed that, sorry, I gotta take these headphones out. I can barely hear myself. Okay, so Rose did a call on that, so if you didn't see that video, definitely go back and check on that. And can't think of anything else. Can you?
If you hit Success Club, All-Star, or Legend, you register tomorrow for Summit.
Right. We do have some people that can register for that.
Yeah, you'll get an email at noon, and then from the email, there'll be a link for us to connect, and I'll probably do the Exhibit D or whatever that first one is. Cool. We'll go back in the video and watch it, and we talk all about it. But yeah, I think that's good for.
Okay, cool.
Going on.
So I'm going to introduce our guest speaker tonight. We have Molly Asplin, and she is currently a 5-star diamond coach, 9-star qualification. She's been coaching for 2 years. She is currently 15 in the company, and about a year ago, she quit her corporate finance job, decided to go traveling with her husband around the world, and then when she got back, decided to take the dive and go full-time in coaching. So I saw Molly on the Beachbody Champions page and saw how quickly she was building a rock star team and wanted to hear all about it. So we're super excited to have you on the call.
Awesome. I had to unmute myself. It's nice to meet you guys. I'm from Minnesota, so I'm an hour earlier than you guys, and you can probably tell I have a Minnesota accent because I can hear your guys' Eastern accent, and I think it's really cute. But yeah, I'll kind of walk through my story. I've got some slides prepared, but you guys, I would love if you commented in the chat box with questions and comments, or, drop them in there at least for at the end so we can really make this pretty interactive. I don't want to just talk at you the whole time because that's boring. I want you to get a lot out of this. I have been coaching for 2 years. So let me just screen share because I kind of walk through my background a little bit. I will have you guys, can someone give me a thumbs up or perfect? All right, I'm gonna make that big. Not that big though, because I don't like when I can't see you. There we go. So I'm a 5-star diamond. You guys, I'm not really big on rank. I don't really like talking in those words just because I always tell my team that it's the actions, right? It's the actions that are going to drive you to that outcome, not necessarily, the rank doesn't matter. That's just the bright, shiny objects, but it's what you do every day that's going to get you to that rank. I'm married to my husband, Steve. We don't have any children. I'm a certified group fitness instructor and personal trainer, and I did that throughout college. So I always, fitness has always been a big part of me. Then I was in corporate world. So I have a finance background, an accounting degree, and I worked my corporate finance job for 7 years. I began about 2 years ago, and I was a discount coach to begin with, and I was just the biggest skeptic. I was like, no, I will never do that. I had been approached about it a lot because I was a fitness person, but I'm like, nope, don't want to do that. I don't like it. I'm a very logical, traditional thinker. So it's hard for me to think outside the box or think that an opportunity like this could actually, work. So I was just very opposed to it in the beginning. But I fell in love with the programs and Shakeology and the 21-Day Fix, and I really fell in love with the challenge groups. I loved the accountability piece and the community and just the spirit in there, and I knew that was something that I wanted to continue. So I kind of said, all right, I'm just going to give this a try. I'm going to start leading my own groups, and that's how I got started. My first few challenge groups were small. They were like friends and family, probably what you guys kind of experienced, but I just kept doing that over and over for like 6 months. And I'm like, okay, I'm starting to make this into something, and it's starting to be meaningful. But what led me to feel that way was the actions, right? I was showing up and I was acting, and acting made me believe. So if you're like, oh, I don't know about all this. I don't even know if I should be on this call right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared to post. Acting is what's going to get you that belief. You just have to start. You just have to do it. Don't overthink it. I'm a chronic overthinker and I'm a people pleaser. But if you just do it, all of a sudden you're not scared anymore. And you start to really develop that confidence in yourself. And that's when things took off for me, when I just started doing it over and over and over again. So I am going to talk about the vital behaviors, and I know that can sound super boring and dry, but you guys, that's like, they're vital, right? And that's literally how I've built my business. And I think whenever you listen to the National Wake Up Call, or whenever you hear from a top coach, that's what they talk about, because it's just a core thing. So, and then I'm going to talk about attracting the right customer, not just trying to attract the masses, but really honing in on your niche market and understanding who that is, and then building a tribe. So I know everyone wants to build a rock star team, and they want to get those rock stars with them and to run alongside them. So I'll share, how I've found the leaders on my team and how I went about doing that. So first of all, personal development. I told you guys that I was a non-believer. Something that really helped me believe and develop confidence and really get out of my own head, since we're our own biggest critic, was personal development. And just 20 minutes a day with this is going to take you to places that you never thought possible. So I used to listen to personal development every day to and from work. I had about a 15-minute drive, so it wasn't a lot, but I would listen to the National Wake Up Call, or, any type of podcast that was fitting for me on that day, right? Because different personal development needs for different times in your life. But it started to make me think about life differently. And really it was teaching me how to dream, because I'm not a dreamer, I'm just a doer. But when I listen to, good inspirational calls and other people who have branched out and gotten outside of their box, that's what made me believe. So I did that every day to and from work, and I continued to work my business in the evening when I got home from my corporate job. And that's really how my husband and I decided to make the trip around the world. We had implemented the Dave Ramsey finance plan. So, from a financial perspective, I wasn't able to, completely fund our world trip, but it was a very big part of the mindset piece for me to be like, yes, we can do this. Let's go, like, chase a dream, do something that we've always wanted to do, because if we don't do it now, we probably never will. We like to travel. And so We kind of took a leap of faith and sold our house and sold our cars and did it. So we traveled for 5 months, and we traveled to 16 countries. And while we did that, I coached the entire time. So I literally coached all around the world, which is, working remotely at its finest. But this is a post, that I made when we announced it to the world. So, but it's all because of personal development. It really is. I would have never even let myself think it had I not been doing this daily. When my husband was like, I think we should do this, I told him that he was batshit crazy. And I'm like, yeah, no. But I got my head down and got to work, and we made it happen. So get your mind right every single day. When I look at coaches who don't last with this, it's usually because they're not doing their personal development, and maybe because of other things too. But if your mind isn't right, nothing else is going to fall into place. So a non-negotiable for sure every single day. Different needs for different times. If you don't like Gary Vee videos, or if you don't like hustle business type books, find something more emotional or something more psychological that's really going to help your mind. Everybody's so different with this. So my PD might not be the same as your PD. The national wake-up call, though, that should be a non-negotiable. I really loved Lindsay Matway's this week. I thought that was good, just bringing it back to the basics of challenge groups. For sure, listen to that every week. And if you can't listen to it live, fine, but catch up on it the next 5 days. If you're a people pleaser, because I really am, and I struggled with this, Girl Code is one of my favorites. I like Girl Boss, and I really like Energy Bus, from a team standpoint especially. My team and I read Energy Bus together, and I think that was really good. If you're looking for accountability in your business, the Slight Edge is good, the Compound Effect is good, 12-week year. I know corporate was really talking about that one heavily, and I've implemented those goals. I think it's an awesome way of thinking. So just some ideas for you on that front. Proof of the product. So in the chat box, you guys, I want you to drop in, what program are you currently doing? And where is my chat box right now? There we go. Hammer and Chisel, T25, max 30, day 2. Quarter force. Love it. Okay, perfect. I'm glad you guys are saying something. I always ask my team, are you dabbling? And what I mean by that is, are you doing a little bit of running, a little bit of your own yoga classes, a little bit of hammer and chisel? Really pick a program and complete it start to finish. That's what we're asking our challengers to do. We want to be in the trenches with them. And if you're following a program, you're going to feel so good, and you're going to have so much content to post about that you have too much. But typically when people are off track and they're like, I don't know what to post about, I don't feel good, it's because they're not committed to a program themselves. So put your own oxygen mask on first. Print out the schedule. I like to print mine out and cross them off as I go. And really let your challengers know that you are doing it with them. And then share about it every day. Share about it on your own wall. Tell your audience that you're halfway through your program and these are your progress pictures halfway through. But remember, you guys, this is a health and fitness business. So before we get so caught up in all these different kinds of posts, it's health and fitness. So we've got to talk about that, and we've got to be proof of it. Show up in your challenge groups. It seems funny that we would have to say that, right? But I see coaches go AWOL in the challenge groups, and it's we brought those people in there, then we have to deliver. So really show up in there, and don't just buffer out your posts and forget about them. Get in there. I try to comment on every single post that's made. I know it's a time suck, but that's what people need. They need that encouragement. They need you to be their biggest cheerleader. Lead by example. And if people don't know what you're doing, they're not going to do it either. So usually when I have a quiet challenge group, or when I hear coaches say, my challenge group is dead, it's well, Are you posting in there twice a day? You know, are you checking in there a few times a day? Because if they don't know what Molly's eating for dinner, they're probably going to go have Chipotle. I don't know. So just really be the example for them and show them, don't tell them. Okay, attracting and inviting. If I were to go hop on your guys' Facebook pages, and maybe we can do this after the call, but if I were to just go look at one of your pages, first of all, would I be able to tell you're a coach? I call it the 7-second scroll. So if I just scrolled for 7 seconds, would I see what you're up to? Would I know that you're doing a fitness program? Would I know you lead monthly challenge groups? You know, would I know that you're positive and encouraging and that you're helping others? So really trying to get that brand recognition of you as a coach, not Beachbody, but of you yourself on your page. Authentic posting. People don't want perfect. They don't need to see 6-pack abs. Dig deeper in your posts too, right? Go beyond just like, oh, here's my shake. I always tell my coaches, like, please don't post a shake selfie unless you're going to say something about the shake. Not just like, yay, got my shake in. Like, that's boring. And that's when people click the unfollow button, right? We've got to differentiate and talk about why. Talk about the benefits. Talk about the convenience. No shake selfies. Yeah, totally, right? It should be like out loud. I like to just drop it in my photos, like in the background and stuff. So it's more of just like a subtle drop. But sometimes I talk about it because I think we need to talk about it, but we can do that in a very non-obnoxious way. Consistent breadcrumbing. So, I don't know if you guys have read jab, jab, right hook, but constantly dropping little nuggets about what you're doing. Basically, your page should be a sneak peek into coaching or a sneak peek into a challenge group. It doesn't need to be overkill, and I still want to, you still want to see posts about your family and your life and your full-time job if you have one, but you've got to breadcrumb it constantly. So maybe like a 1 in every 5 posts or a 1 in every 4 posts. You're going to talk something about coaching or about your challenge group, your workout, your shake, subtle breadcrumbs. Then when you go to make that call to action of join my challenge group or come to my coaching info session or whatever your team calls it, you've already built that trust, right? If I go to your wall and I see a call to action on Monday night and another call to action on Monday night and there's nothing in between there, that's not good brand presence. And that's when you start to look salesy. Consistent personal messaging will explode your business. And I'll be honest, you guys, I didn't start doing this like my first 4 months as a coach because I just thought it was weird and I was scared. And yes, I attracted enough people just from my consistent posting, but when you couple that with personal messaging, your business will actually explode. And it won't happen immediately, but if you started tonight just sending 5 messages a day, relationships, I'm not even kidding, in the next few months, you will see your Success Club points go up, 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 up. But it's being consistent about it and really getting your posts and messages to speak to one another. They should work together. And then 80-20 balance. Don't be that girl or that guy. I think when everyone signs up, they're like, well, I just don't want to be annoying on social media. That's fine. You won't be. But talk about your life. Really let people know the weird, quirky, cool mom, I don't know, whatever you are. Let people know that. Be engaging and relatable. So think of your post as a dialogue versus a monologue. If you can end with a question, that's great. The goal is to get people talking, to get people to know you. And then recognition. I think this is the easiest one because it gets to take the spotlight off of you. Doing a challenger spotlight or a challenger of the week, a coach spotlight, if you're in more of a leadership position. You can recognize leader ladder stuff on your team page. You can do a shout out for a teammate. So if you're a brand new coach and you're like, I don't have anyone to recognize yet, shout out another coach. Shout out another coach who has had an inspirational story that, you know, you'd like to talk about. You can shout out your upline. There's a lot of different things you can do with recognition, but it's a great way to build your credibility because it allows people to know that you're actually helping people, right? And not just posting these weird, sweaty selfies. So attracting the right customer. I think it goes back to being real about who you are. The shake selfie and workout selfie only goes so far. We really need to dig deeper to know, you know, who is Rose as a coach? What's she all about? You know, what's her story? You're not selling the workout and the shake, you're selling yourself, and you're selling that hope and that transformation. Speak to the girl or guy you were before coaching. You are your target audience. And if you can just speak to that person that you needed to hear a year ago or 2 years ago or a month ago, whenever it was, that is how you're going to attract this awesome customer that you can really help. And then go beyond the surface. So building a tribe or building, you know, a rock star team. You've constantly got to be filling your challenge groups with new people. If you have the same 10 challengers month after month after month, then you're not hitting Success Club, but you've still got a challenge group because these people are just with you, right? And they're your people. It doesn't matter, you guys. It's not going to work. Your challenge groups will get stagnant. You will get bored because it's the same people. They're going to get bored because they've seen these 5 people in the group a bazillion times. They want to see new people. If you have new people come in, it revives your veteran challengers and it revives you. So constantly be filling your challenge groups with new, fresh people and then deliver an A+ challenge group experience. You know, I always think the challenge group thing should go without saying, but it's the thing that tends to get missed, and it is the most important. That's why we coach, right? To really help people get results so you can't peace out on your challenge group. And then invite to coaching. Why don't we comment in the chat box just so I can get a gauge, but are you guys actively inviting to the coaching opportunity from your challenge groups? Just give me like a yes or no, or if you're not, maybe why you're not. And it's okay if you're not, because trust me, like half my team doesn't because they're too freaked out and it's like beating a dead horse. I try to. So I think you guys, this is not enough. Thank you, Haley, if you're being honest. I think this is the #1 missed opportunity is inviting to coaching. And almost all my coaches come from my challenge groups. I usually don't try to like message people about the coaching opportunity unless they've been a challenger. But if you're not asking your challengers to join as a coach, they're not going to. They need to know that you believe in them, and they need to know that you believe in them for more than just getting a discount. So don't go into it saying, hey, you should be a coach because then you can get a discount. No, I don't even tell them about the discount. I mean, I do eventually, and that's a perk of it for sure. But I say, you know, you're kicking butt in this group for XYZ reasons. You know, you're so good at rocking out your workout in the kitchen when there was no other space around, and your crock pot dinners so your family can have a healthy meal at night. Call out specific things that they're doing. And then have you ever considered coaching like I do? I would love to co-lead my next group with you. What do you think about that? That's usually how I invite them. But you've got to be specific about why they would be good at it. And then you have to ask a question. Have you ever considered it? What do you think about it? You have to instill that belief in them. Otherwise, they're not going to come knocking on your door and say they want to do it. And if that does happen, it's probably just for the discount, not because they know that you believe in them. But the discount should always be an aftermark of the conversation, in my opinion. Sharing the coaching business. So I think this is another miss that a lot of, newer coaches have, and maybe even veteran coaches. But if you don't talk about what you're doing as a coach, people aren't going to know that it exists or what it is or what a coach even does. So I'm constantly talking about coaching on my own page too. If you're working full-time, which probably a lot of you are, don't be afraid to share how you fit it in with your full-time job. So this was like a post I did when I was still working my corporate job, just talking about how I wake up early and I do this coaching thing because it gets me out of bed and it fills my cup. Talk about it however you want to talk about it that makes sense for you. But you've got to share about the coaching opportunity just like you're sharing about your challenge groups. So sharing Zoom calls, like a screenshot of this call, we can do that at the end, or sharing coffee shop sessions, or you working from home after your kids go to bed. Don't be afraid to share that you do this in the early morning or the late night, because that's how other people are going to think, I could maybe do that instead of watching Netflix. Do something productive instead of being a couch potato every night. And remember that it's not always easy. You're going to hear no, and you have to hear no to hear yes. It's just part of it. And the quicker you can learn not to tie emotion to it and just be like, okay, it's not the right time for her, and that's all right, the better. Those close to you will be naysayers. That's totally normal. I'm sure you've all experienced it. It really sucks. And, it can be draining. It can be paralyzing for a little bit, but really trying to move on. Communicate to them why you're doing it, how you love their support, and just persevere. Stick it out. Personal development will totally help you with this. Sacrifices I've made, I don't watch TV in the evenings because I'm usually working on this. In the car, I'm listening to a podcast, and I really try not to do mindless social media scrolling. I think it can be really hard as a coach to say that you're having your power hour, but you're just playing comparison game and looking at a bazillion other coaches, or I don't know. But really try to be focused about that social media time. Time with my husband, right? Like when I'm in this building phase and when I'm hustling my butt with this, that takes away from my evenings with my husband. So I've communicated to him why I'm doing it. He knows he's on the same page. But if this is going to be that thing that you work on at night away from your family, talk to them about it. Or maybe it's something you do on Monday and Wednesday night and you've gotten their buy-in on it. But I would have that communication and that open dialogue for sure. And then just a call to action. I think it's always good to have a takeaway from a call. This week or tonight even, make a post about the business. If you don't talk about it, no one will know what it is. So make some type of post about the work that you're doing as a coach, or the freedom aspect, or the income piece, or the accountability that comes with being a coach. All those different facets you can talk about. Do your personal development every single day and commit to a program start to finish. It sounds like you guys are pretty baller at that already. So that's what I've got for you. I know I went kind of fast, but that's what I had prepared. I'd just love to hear your guys' questions or comments or anything.
I know Leah had a question that was in the chat box on, I think that was to coaching. How do you, and I think you answer that though, right?
Yep, I think we kind of covered that. I usually just, call out specific strengths that they have and why I think they would make a good coach, and really try to instill that belief in them. And then I ask them, have you ever considered it? That's a very open-ended question. Have you ever considered coaching like I do? That's usually how I go about it. I need to do more posts about how and when I coach on my page, I think. Yep, for sure. Because, you're not necessarily trying to attract these like brand new people who are going to message you and be like, I want to become a coach. You're really trying to attract your challengers, your current challengers, because they're following your social media for sure.
So can you maybe talk about how you went from, what was it, like 2-star to 5-star in, I don't know, 6 months, and then like 5-star to 9-star qual, and whatever.
Mhm.
Everyone
Yeah,
from
you
challenge.
know, my legs were really imbalanced just from a placement standpoint. I had 4 diamonds on one side. So I was 4-star, but you don't go 2-star until you have 1 diamond on each side. So that was just crappy. But it was really the foundation that I had laid in the first year. And I always hit Success Club 10, if not more. And I had attracted a lot of people who were like me. And so when they did convert to a coach, we really just ran alongside each other. And it was never like a, Molly way up here and the coach is way down here type thing. It was like, let's do this together. Let's lead our challenge groups together. Let's have a girls' night together. A lot of my coaches are local, so we do a lot of community type things too. But I think that's the biggest thing is getting your challenge groups filled every month with people who are like you, because that makes it a lot easier. And you guys, if you're going for Star Diamond, if that's like a goal of yours, Success Club 6 does not cut it. You got to be going for more than that. If you're going for Emerald and Diamond, and you're just getting started, yes, Success Club 5, 6, that's a great goal. But if you want to go big, then you need to go big, right?
And then what percentage of your business is your personal business, and then your team, where do you have your focus on? Is it 80-20 or?
Oh yeah, at least 80-20, if not 90-10. I spend most of I do this full time. I spend most of my day on my own recruiting. Because you know what? If your coaches are going to do it, they're going to do it. I get on a getting started right call with every coach, and I get to know them, and I give them resources, and we have a pretty good team page, like I'm sure you guys do too. But if they want it, then they want it. And the upline is a leader, they're not a manager. So don't micromanage, don't babysit, don't drag. Just be the example, just like you were for your challengers. You have challenge groups sometimes and the challengers never even show up. Sorry, we can't push play for you. And the same thing goes for coaching. I can't go send your messages for you. I can't think of what post you should make. So really just teaching them to be independent and knowing that I'm here for you if you need me, but my expectation is that you take this now and you go fly. Where and how do you feel you have the most success with recruiting new challengers? Facebook is my main platform. It always has been. I have a really, really shitty Instagram, but that's not my focus. Facebook is kind of my jam, and it's my personal Facebook. I have a like page, but it's pretty much consistent with my personal page. Extending beyond warm market, friends of friends, because to me that's always been easier than trying to get in an interest group and try to spend a month liking and commenting on stuff in this interest group or searching for these hashtags. I just find friends of friends that look like they would vibe well with me, and that's how I expand my network. Because then it's still like a lukewarm market, it's not cold. I don't like cold market inviting. I think that's icky, personally.
So how many people do you add per day? How many conversations do you have per day? How many people do you invite per day? Do you keep track of that?
Yep. I track in a spreadsheet. That's just what works for me. But if you're a pen to paper person, be a pen to paper person. That's fine. I add probably 10 people a day. I don't keep track of who adds me back. To me, that's like a wasted time activity. But I try to send at least 10 friend requests a day. I have about 20 conversations a day, and I probably invite 5 people a day. So that's a lot of That's a lot of messaging, but you guys, I do this full time. So if you're new, I don't want you to be scared off by that. That's just what I do now. Before, I was probably having like 5 conversations a day and maybe inviting 2 people. And it's an ongoing thing, right? So maybe you do your messages in batches on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then they kind of sift back in throughout the week. Pick a system that works for you and just go with it, because everyone is so different when it comes to messaging, but you do have to do it.
Awesome stuff. Anyone else have any questions? Don't be shy.
When you're doing your conversations, can you give us an example of like a conversation starter and what you would have a conversation with someone?
Yeah. So remember how I said posts and messages should kind of complement each other? One I send often is, hey, thank you for the love on the transformation photo I shared yesterday. That stuff is never easy to share, so I just really appreciate your support on that. Are you on a fitness journey as well? Just you guys send a thank you message and say that it's hard to put yourself out there, because it is, and ask them a question. That's it. Or if you feel weird saying, are you on a fitness journey? If that's like something you would never say, how have you been? It's been a while. How are your kids? I don't know. Any open-ended question is fine, but always end with a question. Don't overthink it, right?
So do you find that most of your diamonds on your team, like personally sponsored diamonds, are more like self-starters? Is that what kind of attracted them to you? Because that's what you're like?
I would say a lot of them are self-starters, but you know, I look for, are they trying? So some of them were self-starters, but they were slow. I mean, I have diamonds who took a year to get to diamond. And actually myself, you guys, I took a year to get to diamond. But that whole first year, I was never going backwards. I was always, you know, hitting SC10 and really moving forward. My rank just wasn't necessarily reflective of it, because I wasn't sprinting to rank. So I built with a lot of stability. My first 3 coaches were business coaches, because I didn't know this discount coaching was even a thing. I don't have an upline who's active. But yeah, a lot of them are self-starters, but I look for the vital behaviors. So if I see someone who is posting and they're trying and they're showing up on team calls like this, that is my filter to say, I'm going to spend time with that person. If people aren't wasting their time, spending their time getting on a call like this, that really frustrates me as a leader. And so you guys should be very thankful that, is it Leah or Leah? I don't want to say it wrong. Leah and Rose and all the other leaders on this are putting calls together like this for you. It's huge. And so if you can get on them live so you can ask questions and really be engaged, that will be a game changer in your business. And that will be a reflection for Rose and Leah to say, yeah, I'm going to spend time with her. She's showing up. She's trying. So I look for people who are just putting forth the effort. And usually that means self-starter, but maybe not. And then I'll just kind of, you know, spend a little more time with them. And I will handhold if I see potential and if I see that they're trying.
Awesome. Anyone else with any last questions? Going once.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. I think we are good. Thank you so much, Molly, for taking the time out and doing that whole PowerPoint presentation for us. You took some time out for us.
For sure. Absolutely.
All right, everyone. Have a great night.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.